Fight. First frag.
Is this thing on? What's going on? What's happening, guys? I'm Scotty. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to be talking about Diabotical today, make some comparisons with Quake, and give our first impressions on it. Let's get to it. This game is essentially a Quake clone, and that's not a bad thing. No surprise here, considering the team over at the GD studio consists of former Quake and esport pros. Some of the big takeaways and comparisons: movement and combat feels smooth and responsive. The devs definitely got this feeling good right off the bat. Weapons are counterparts to Quake weapons. You've got variants of the rocket launcher, railgun, lightning gun, the Trinity, essentially, including the supporting castle weapons typically found in Quake. There's a nice attention to detail in all aspects of combat. The sound, the visuals, and feel. I won't go into the technical details of how fast rockets travel, the damage tick rate of hit scans. That could be a separate video altogether. But it all felt pretty good where it's currently dialed in. Diabotical is fast, specifically in acceleration, which feels faster in comparison to Quake Champions. In my opinion, I think this is because the characters in Quake Champs feel more weighted in their basic movement. An example of this is being able to switch movement direction. In Quake, you can sort of predict a player's movement due to a subtle de-acceleration when switching directions or stopping movement, whereas Diabotical feels more snappy in its movement, being able to switch directions quickly or stop on a dime, which kind of makes it a little harder to predict your opponent's movement. On the topic of movement, like Quake, you can strafe jump and circle jump to gain speed. There's also a dash or dodge ability, which you can also use to gain acceleration, reminiscent of Clutch, I would say, from Quake Champions. And of course, let's talk about the art style. I was hesitant to try this game mostly for this reason. I prefer my arena shooters to be dark, gritty, and bloody like Quake. But going with the stylized art direction works pretty well for an arena shooter. The environments are nice to look at, with soft, subtle details that are only noticeable if you stop and really look at the textures. This keeps the Eggbots the main focus of the game, allowing them to stand out and pop, not get lost in the environment details. Even though there aren't showers of gibs full of blood and guts, the Eggbots do explode in a satisfying way. Let's talk about the settings. The customization features are amazing, and I wish more games provided this level of customization to their audiences. Mouse sensitivity gives you sliders and input fields to dial it in just right. You're also given mouse sensitivity presets for Quake or Source, Overwatch, Reflex, and Fortnite, which helps you convert your sensitivity over from said game. Your field of view also comes with a converter as well. I applaud this effort in anticipation of helping ramp up new players from other game audiences into the arena shooter. Each weapon can be customized in several ways. You can adjust the mouse sensitivity, the aim reticle, as well as the field of view for each weapon specifically. Additionally, each of these can be adjusted for when you are zoomed in with each weapon, adding that extra layer of customization for those that want it. This amount of per weapon customization may be new to a majority of new players coming into this, and it's great to see this back in a modern shooter. You have your usual controls and keybinds options, being able to rebind everything to your heart's content. Video options seem a bit limited, but it gives you the essentials to get this game running smoothly on a wide range of systems. Minimum specs do require at least an Intel i3 2.4 GHz processor with a GeForce GT 640 or equivalent. In my opinion, that is some low spec requirements, which opens this game up to a broader audience to try it out. And sorry to all you pick mippers, no options to muddy up your textures. Audio sliders are adjustable for all the important elements of the game. More Settings tab gives you some more control to how your game plays and runs. The key standouts to me were multi-threaded input, network downstream tick rate settings, streaming safety settings, and player color adjustments. Also, the UI can be completely rearranged, scaled, color shifted, all to your liking. This is awesome. And while I didn't spend time over this stress test to customize it, I definitely plan to in the future. I also can't wait to see people share their HUD layouts in the future, let alone see what esports pros do with their UIs. The current Eggbot customization is impressive too. There are plenty of stickers that you can use to create your very own Eggbot. Here's my first masterpiece, I dub
the Eggbot Customization.
I'm hoping that maybe we will get some more customization to the core model, different types of arms, legs, or body shape. I'd imagine with the devs wanting this to be a highly competitive game, they would be hesitant to change the overall shape of the Eggbot model, keeping things uniform throughout to prevent giving any type of competitive edge. Even the ability to import our own images would be cool, though I could see that becoming a problem at some point with graphic or inappropriate content appearing in the game. Let's talk about game modes. I did get to play all the modes available during the stress test this past weekend. Nothing really new here, just some solid options for game modes we're used to seeing in an arena shooter. You've got 5v5 Wipeout, which is essentially team deathmatch, 5v5 team instagib in the form of Weibo instagib, and my personal favorites, Arena, 1v1 or 2v2. We were also given access to private lobbies, which are cool if you want to play with some friends or get into some crazy 5v5 matches. What's cool about this though is that we essentially have access to a server browser with custom lobbies. Freaking awesome. There's also a map editor, but I didn't try it out. I mostly wanted to dive into the action of the game and get a feel for it first. As of the time of this video posting, you're not able to save your map creations, which was another reason for me to hold off on this feature. We'll cover the map editor in depth on another video, which is something I'm actually looking forward to as someone who has worked in the game industry as an environment artist. So with all this praise, I really only have one negative comment for Diabotical. My biggest gripe with the game so far is its server issues. I had to exit and relaunch the game several times just so I can find a match to play in matchmaking. For now, this is excusable, considering that this first week of testing is a stress test. I just hope that the devs have gathered enough data and can properly support this game with stable servers in the near future. So the big question diehard arena shooter fans are probably asking is, will this be the arena shooter of all arena shooters? At this time, I don't think it will be. It'll definitely attract an audience, probably even players who are curious in more modern, contemporary versions of the arena shooter, like Overwatch. Modern renditions that have like heroes and champions with abilities that want to experience something with none of that. I don't think this is going to be the beginning of an arena shooter renaissance. Who knows? This is just my opinion, and we'll see what happens. I would be pleasantly surprised if Diabotical is able to achieve this. And that'll do it. I will see you in the arenas. Great good. Can't believe I just said that.